Well, she said she's magical, mystical, a powerful wonder girl.
Welcome back to What She Said. Gone are the days of being ashamed of being the teetotaler in the room at a party and being subjected to friends begging you to, just have one. Hill Street Beverage Company has new non-alcoholic wine and beer products that taste great and fit right into any social setting without being obvious. Joining us now is the VP of Strategic Partnerships, June Nicholson. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Well, we hear a lot about January being a month where people take the month off, and now February is dry month. Is this like it's becoming one long event?
Well, I think that's very true. Certainly people are well accustomed to January being a dry month because it's time for resolution and changing your habits and doing things a bit differently. But Dry February is actually an initiative by the Canadian Cancer Society to, again, reduce your alcohol consumption, to reduce those toxins in your body. So I think it does become a little bit of an extension of Dry January, but internationally, Dry February is also accepted in Britain and places like that too.
Well, there is evidence to support that the fact that alcohol is a leading contributor to obesity, and with all that sugar, given that we're all signing up for gym memberships in the beginning of January and going on diets, I guess that follows, right?
It sure does. And if you look at what happens with alcohol when it's produced, the alcohol sugars is what contributes to the high sugar content in alcoholic beverages, right? So the process is that the yeast consumes the sugar and produces the alcohol. So when you remove that alcohol, you remove majority, a substantive amount of that sugar, and makes for a product that you can consume without having the same effects.
There's another thing too, which I did not know, that there was a large segment of the population that cannot drink alcohol.
Right, you are, Christine. So what happens is we have a number of people through whatever means or requirements they have based both for social reasons. I mean, perhaps it's I'm at a party, I don't want to drink, I want to be socially responsible. There's people who have the weight issues, and then there's the people who have a medical condition where it's contraindicated to a prescription medication.
But it's also some religious
of course.
Groups that just do not
of course.
Partake.
Yeah, and so imagine being in a room, being one of those people in observing that religious requirement, and being in a room and saying, I can't have that beverage because, it goes against my religion. So you feel a little bit out of the party. So what we've done is we've provided a product that allows for that opportunity.
I think it's a fabulous idea. I know my parents were diplomats and were out every night of the week, and they would have maybe one drink, and then they would quietly say to the bartender, just make it ginger ale. I'm just going to say I'll have another, but just make it ginger ale, because they just couldn't. You just can't do that. But now you have something that pours and looks nice, and nobody would know.
Okay, it does look nice. It does pour. But how does it taste? Because let's talk about the history of non-alcoholic wines and beers, because they didn't always have a good reputation.
That is true. If you think about what's been historically available on the shelf, there's always been that concept of, they're terrible. The process hasn't been great, because the way that the alcoholization has happened in the past is when you cook with alcohol, you burn off the alcohol. So when you raise the temperature of the product, it alters the chemical nature of the liquid itself. What we do is we do a pasteurization, so we don't actually get to that boiling point to remove that alcohol. So I would actually encourage you ladies to go ahead and take a taste of that and tell me from your own perspective how good it tastes.
This is the,
this is the Sparkling Brut, and this is from our Vin Zero line.
Well, that's very refreshing and very nice.
Very
nice,
good.
Nice. It's nice like a light Prosecco.
Now, this used to be a niche distribution, and now you've sort of expanded nationwide.
That is correct, yeah. So we have been, over the last year and a half, we've been really producing a lot more varieties of the wines. We have a lot more of the craft brews coming up, and so we are available nationwide at Loblaws, Sobeys, Shoppers Drug Mart, and a number of other retailers. We're at about 3,000 retailers right now, but 3,000 locations, not retailers, but locations. I'm expanding towards 7,000 towards the end of the year. But more importantly, it's going to be available online 24/7, and we're capturing that whole market of people who want to shop at home.
But also the other thing, something very exciting coming up in just a few days, February 1st.
February 1st, we're excited to have a launch with Weight Watchers.
Wow.
Weight Watchers has become a partner, and if you look at the label, it actually has the endorsement on the label.
And does it have your points count?
It does. Just 2 points for a serving versus 4 points for a regular serving. And if the most searched items on the Weight Watcher website is when people choose to join Weight Watchers, is the first search one is chocolate and the second one is wine, because people want to know, can I keep my favorite things?
I think I may have been the only person that searched for Cadbury cream egg. On Weight Watchers.
No.
4 points. It was only 4, not bad.
So what is the sugar content?
The sugar content it depends on the product, of course, based on what it is.
But let's say the one we just had.
Let's just take a look at that. So the nutrition facts are clearly stated on the back, but sugar here is 9 grams for 150 milliliters, so that's a fifth of the bottle. So you're talking a good chunk, so that's more than a
And
single
compared
serve.
to wine, what would that be?
That's actually less than half of a regular wine.
Now, where are the wines made?
So the wine itself is made. We purchase the wine from France, and it's sent to our partner in Belgium, where the non-alcoholic process is completed, and then we import it into Canada from there. And the beer is actually produced at several locations, but this particular one that we have here, this Pilsner brand, is produced for us in Rochester, New York.
Are you telling me that you're taking normal wine from France and then you're de-alcoholizing it in Belgium?
100%.
And then bringing it over?
That's right. It's because you think about wine and where wine is historically known to be very good and very solid. You know, if you think of French wine, you think of how the quality of the wine. That's the key to our product, is that we start with the top product, right? So it is wine. People say, oh, it's not wine. It is 100% wine. We just take the alcohol out. It is beer. We just take the alcohol out. So you are left with the flavors, the polyphenols, the flavonoids that are left in the wine. So you get all the good benefits like you would with a good glass of red wine for heart healthy and things like that too.
So what is the price point then for a comparable wine, given that you've got an added process?
For sure. It's a very good point. So think about this. When you go into a dinner party and you want to bring a great bottle of wine, you're not going to bring a $2.99, $3.99, $6.99 bottle of wine to give us a...
Is there a $2.99 bottle?
Well, it depends on where you shop. Sometimes you find it.
In a grocery store in the U.S., maybe,
That's
but I
right.
don't think
That's
here.
true. That's true. But, what we've done is the product is very comparable to other wines because it is such a quality wine. So prices start about $9.99 and go up to about $12.99, but there's a whole range of things available online as well.
Now, you say women on the whole are consuming less alcohol?
That is true. And the reason for that is because the studies have shown that women have busy lifestyles. They have things that get in the way of life, like kids and like managing households. So if you consume alcohol, the effect of alcohol is the next day, for many of us, is, I have a headache, I'm hungover, I don't function properly. So women are choosing not to consume on the same levels that they used to. And that is obviously a major target for us, is the women.
So now you said, and you can get it delivered right to your door. You can order online, It comes to the door.
Yes.
So what's the website?
The website is www.hillstreetbevco.com.
What's proven to be the most popular?
Oh, tough question. We have been selling out of everything, and that's not a marketing term. It is true. Certainly, the Brut is very popular around the holidays, but the Chardonnay is certainly one of the best sellers. Just as a side note, all of the products have been winning international awards for the quality. In fact, the Cab Sauv Red just won the International Double Gold in San Francisco.
And there's a rosé. Is it?
This is actually a Syrah.
Syrah, okay.
Which is in the rosé family. We have a rosé Brut. We have a whole line of products for sure.
So the demand is soaring.
It is, yes. So the category is growing by about 20%.
That's unbelievable.
So what? And with Weight Watchers and the partnership between them, that's going to be huge for you.
It is. We're really excited for it because women have the opportunity to satisfy that craving for something really tasty without having the side benefits or the side effects, I guess, of the alcohol consumption as well as the weight. So we're so pleased to be a partner with Weight Watchers to offer that to women across Canada.
All right, say the website one more time.
www.hillstreetbevco.com.
Well, June Nicholson, thank you so much for joining us today.
Okay. Christine, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. This is What She Said, and we'll be right back.
What she said.